Did you guys miss us? We're back. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into 615 Preps Live, presented by AccuWorks. I don't know what season it really is, but it's more than we thought it would be. Season 8 for us here at 615 Preps. This show's been going on, I think, for 4 years now, but we're back for 2026, and glad you guys could join us. And got some new faces that'll be on this show this year, so we'll talk about that in just a bit. So I want to bring in one of them right now, as well as the usual. Scott, welcome back for another year.
Thanks, Chris. Glad we could be here.
Yeah, and a gentleman who's actually sitting about 25 feet from me in the other room, but has agreed to give some voice to and some personality to the show this year. Mark Walker. Mark, good evening.
Awesome. Hey, really appreciate being on the show. Chris, I've known you for a long time, so hopefully some of that magic will wear off on me, rub off on me on some high school sports, and I've definitely, gotten a lot more interested in the last couple of years because of you, so really, really appreciate being on.
Well, since a lot of people haven't seen you yet, tell us more about yourself and your background. And I know you've got the G2 bar hashtag, so I know Ravenwood fans will be excited to see you.
Yeah, no, I'm a local kid. Grew up most of my life in Brentwood. Went to Ravenwood High School. Graduated in 2007, so saw a state championship while I was in high school, which was awesome. It was like our second or third full season as a high school. When I'm not working, I coach youth football. I've been doing it for 10 years. Love it. Go Brentwood Blaze. Give them a little shout out. But coaching has always been something I love. Football has been my passion since I can remember. And might be unlike, but I am, as far as NFL goes, an Eagles fan. That might get some people to leave, but I will take that till the day I die. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I'm excited. Like I said, love the game of football, love the X's and O's, and definitely just love diving into the stuff. So really appreciate it.
You're good as long as you're not a 49ers fan.
Nope, that'll never happen. You'll never see me in that red and gold. It's Kelly Green all day till I die.
There we go. Yeah, well, the X's and O's are kind of why I wanted to have you on the show too, because I mean that part of it, you being from a coaching standpoint, is and Matt just says he's the lost Kelsey brother, so that obviously fits here. Obviously fits. But certainly the X's and O's, you have more of that than perhaps Scott and I do, and it's always good to have an extra perspective there to do that. So, yeah, glad to have you, and then this is going to be fun. I know you and I went over to Ravenwood for scrimmage at Stewart's Creek, and you think you told me you coached about half of their team. So
yeah, I know or have coached half of the Williamson County schools that are in high school right now. Page, Brentwood, Ravenwood, BA, all those couple kids at Lipscomb. So yeah, I mean, I probably had 10 or 15 kids at the Ravenwood scrimmage walk up to me, Coach Mark. I'm like, you make me feel real old, because I remember when you were 9 and 10 years old, and now they're juniors and seniors. Some of them are in college playing football. So it was a lot of fun to be able to see those kids out there repping the Raptor across their chest. So
yeah, but definitely good to have another face on the show. And that's where we're going to start tonight, because obviously Mark's one of the new ones here. There's a couple new faces that you'll see during the season as well. Couple of subtractions from the group, unfortunately. And you're wondering where Joe and Cam are. Well, some priorities have changed during the offseason, and Joe got a full-time gig at the Tennessean, which obviously great for him. And he's going to crush it because he did here. And certainly wishing him the best in that role. And we'll see him. I saw him the other night, and it's the same old story. So, the nonsense continues. This fact, he's still in our group chat, and it blows up constantly with a bunch of nonsense. So, don't recommend it. It's a lot of stuff that you'd have to mute your phone on at work. But definitely appreciate his efforts for the last 4 years. And Cam is here, but in a different role. He's not on camera tonight. He won't be probably on the show much this year. He's had some things coming up his life that have necessitated him changing a little bit too. But he does still have the belt and is intending to defend it. So he is making picks for this year, and one of us is just going to have to take it away from him. So
yeah, we had to take him down a peg. His falling was getting too great. Chris was kind of getting a little upset with it.
Sorry, Joe. I forgot it was actually USA Today, but yeah, I didn't give you enough credit there.
It's Gannett.
Oh well. It's Gannett, actually, but hey, those of us who have worked there before understand it.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
had our newspaper cut down.
and I will go ahead and Isaac has actually had a lot of change in his life too. He's engaged, which is awesome for him. He's got a lot of stuff going on. He's over at Vanderbilt helping them out and doing a lot of other things this season. So he sent in a video message he wanted us to play. So we're going to go ahead and knock that out now.
Hey y'all, it's Isaac. So unfortunately, sadly this year, for this semester at least, I won't be able to do much, if any, coverage with 615 preps. I'm really sad that I won't be able to do a whole lot with high school football this year. There are a couple of reasons for that. For one, I'm started school at Lipscomb University. For two, I got engaged and have moved to an apartment in Nashville with my fiance. So we're having, all those troubles or those things that just keep you busy, just starting and moving and all that. And three, I also have an internship with Vanderbilt's football team, doing pictures and stuff with them. And four, I'm working with Lipscomb's student newspaper. So I've got a lot on my plate on top of a job that I work in the afternoons as well. So for those reasons, I can't really work with 615 preps that much this year. I had a lot of projects that I was wanting to do. I had a coaches series of interviews that I've went around with a bunch of coaches in the area. Haven't been able to work on that at all. I had a preseason project that I wanted to do with Glencliff about what it's like being a school that's not affiliated with the TSSAA that I was excited about. Won't be able to finish that. The Love to Hate series that I usually do, I won't be able to do that. So it's sad, but it's just, part of what happens when you're getting older and you got more stuff put on your plate. I'm hoping to at least help with 615 preps a little bit this year if I can. Find some time in my schedule. But I'll be watching along with all you guys. And then from here on out, we'll see if maybe later on down the line I can get started back with 615 preps and help cover high school football because I really love to do it. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that update, let you know about those projects that I was working on that I can't finish for those reasons, and hoping to get back to it at some point. But until then, keep watching 615 preps. It's the best, in my opinion, no bias, one of the best media groups that covers high school football in the area. So I'll miss y'all. I'll miss working with 615 preps, and stay tuned for whatever else they got going on this year.
I got a couple of things to say there, Chris. One, he way outkicked his coverage.
100%, he did.
With his fiance. And the second thing is that, we've had people come in and they've joined us for a little while. Then they go on to do great things. And, anybody that's been through here and sat in the chair with us or worked with us, they're all family. They all come back. We all talk to them. So, and, Mark, the good thing for you is that usually whoever sits in our third or fourth seat, blossoms. We stay here like the statues we are, but the other chairs just seem to go. So that's the great thing, is that we love to see our family grow and get out there.
Does that make us kingmakers?
It makes us something.
Hey, if I somehow end up the head coach at one of these high schools in the next couple of years, I will make sure to thank you all for letting me be on this show this year. So if that does happen, you guys might want to play the lottery.
We would just appreciate you getting stats to us on them.
100%. That's that would be much appreciated. And to the coaches that are watching this, you'll be getting an email from me tomorrow.
Please.
Trust.
Makes my life so much easier.
Yeah.
That or they're going to send me, and that you don't want that to happen. No, I'm joking.
Well, we did kind of need an enforcer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, in our group text, Cam just says that King Cam sounds good. Well, you have the belt. Let's not. Come on, really. Anyway.
King
So we're sitting here 24 hours from kickoff, Nolensville, Lebanon, and then Baylor and BA tomorrow night. That'll kick us off.
Yep.
Pretty good night of football for a Thursday night to kick off things in 2026. You and I will be over at Lebanon for that one, and both those games on TV, so you can actually flip back and forth. But let's talk about that Baylor BA game for a minute. It was the way that they ended last season. BA gave Baylor all sorts of problems and actually thought they could have won that game if it weren't for a couple of mistakes that ultimately cost them. That group coming into 26 is perhaps even more talented than last year. And definitely with a chip on their shoulder after the way things ended. But we know Baylor is also probably more powerful than last year, too.
Yeah.
When a game like this to start the year, how much do you think it's going to really tell us about where these two are?
Well, that's a great question because I wonder how much the Red Raiders are really going to show tomorrow, knowing that they've got to come down the line and see. Likely, we'll see Brentwood Academy again, and vice versa. Um, but it's a long season, so I would think that they're both gonna put their best foot forward. But I just don't think that a reminder of last December on either side is going to let either team get complacent. That was a heck of a game and could have gone either way. But yeah, I think that I don't I think that they're going to play stout. I don't think they'll hide too much.
Mark, I know we were talking about them a little earlier today as well, and the talent you're going to see on that sideline tomorrow night on both sides it's ridiculous. Let's just call it what it is.
I mean, this almost has a feeling of a college game. Like, to me, looking at it, like just the names alone with some of these recruits who are going to be playing at massive schools in a year. I mean, especially how that game ended last year in the state championship game. If I'm BA, I am coming in with the biggest chip on my shoulder, especially if you look at kind of how they've turned it around the last couple of years. And some of those big names, Keyshawn Bowman and some of those guys and some of those other, really highly talented recruits, I'm going in there wanting to make a statement. I mean, like you said, I don't know if even on the Baylor side, I don't know how much they're going to hide. And they've got just seeing more tape, on DGG and just seeing the freak athlete that guy is, I still expect a big game from him. But I think this is going to be, I almost want to skip work to try to get down there to watch this game. Like, I've never been more enthralled in a potential matchup that you could see a repeat of last year, hopefully. But this is going to be just one heck of a football game. That's going to be happening.
You said that there's almost a college atmosphere. Yeah, a lot of these players are going to be playing on Saturday. So, you talked about DGG. Well, you look at the other side, and you have Larry Sanders on the Brentwood Academy side that, truthfully, it could be argued may have outplayed him in the Blue Cross Bowl. You bring in Keegan Croucher to Baylor. You've got to go up against Cruz, and it is, you've got two Ole Miss recruits going head to head, or Ole Miss commitments, excuse me, going head to head. I mean, this has every bit of a college flavor to it.
And you mentioned Cruz, and I think that's a good way to go into his progression. We could see how he's progressed in the offseason and kind of see where he is in his development, because it's a good game for him to get his bearings for this year and see how much he's developed and what he's learned from last year's finish. Because ultimately, for me, his play is going to be a bit determinant in how BA does in this game.
Yeah.
We know Larry Sanders is going to have, he's going to get his. Keyshawn Bowman, he's going to get his. But Cruz has to deliver on his part too, and that's the one piece. That's the one person I think we really could watch tomorrow night and see how much further he's come along.
Yeah, I think that is you nailed it on the head there. That's going to be a key to them because offensive line play, I think BA is going to be good. So, uh, you know, Cruz has just got to be, yeah, he's just got to play his game and play within himself.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's right. I mean, you can't tell much after week one. And if you look at our rankings pretty much every year, it's the same thing. If they do meet up again in the postseason, it'll be a lot different. But for a week one game, still pretty good.
I mean, that's excitement.
doubt.
I mean, having them play week one. I mean, that's just kicking off the season with a bang.
Yeah. Named watch for me, Antoine Cornbread Adams. Yeah. Hey, that's
for
a name.
multiple reasons. Yeah.
Cornbread. That's what I call Brooksy too.
It's never been.
The well, you know what I was trying to think of, and you know, I was talking about the offensive line. I forgot. I couldn't put my. But you got Lamarcus Jones and Rance Brown, who've
Yeah,
come
Auburn
into
commit,
Brentwood
yeah.
Academy. Yeah, Colorado and Auburn between them. That transferred in, and that's you know that's you're going to have that because
Yep.
you've got to have a line to match up with Baylor. It's like an arms race. It seems like anymore.
Yep. Yeah. Let's talk briefly about Nolensville Lebanon, the other game tomorrow night. Both these teams won 8 games last year, kind of in different fashions. Lebanon got off to a smoking hot start and tailed off at the end of the year. They started off 7-0 and we went 1-4 down the stretch. And then Nolensville wins the first round game, goes to Henry County, loses a close one in the second round of their 5A playoffs. And, you know, the Knights, Scott Stidham's building something over there in Nolensville. And they're going to be a team I think it's interesting to watch this year for multiple reasons.
I think they get better as the season goes on. I don't know how they'll look in week one, but you know, he came in late last year. It took a little bit to get his system going. You could see the improvement in the end of the year, and it's just going to grow. But he's still got kind of a young team over there. I think that that this year, you know, they're just going to be better, and it wouldn't surprise me to see them make a run at the end of the year. But and here comes Mark. You're going to have to steel yourself for this because it's one thing that Chris absolutely loves. It's my little comparisons because you know when I was looking at Lebanon, truthfully, they're a lot like a cast iron pan. You know they've been tough and durable. Now they are seasoned and ready to cook. I mean they are just absolutely. I think this year that their defense is going to be pretty doggone stout. And their offense, I think they've got some skill players. I think Coach Gentry's got some skill players in there that are going to, you know, I'm really high on this Blue Devil team.
It makes me want like a pan-seared steak now that you mentioned it, the seasoning of the pan. So
yeah, I gotta go get it. I'm gonna start grilling after this.
Yeah.
Well,
we might have to. Here's a thought, Mark. We might have to take the show outside on the patio next week.
Yeah. But when I get that new Blackstone set up, we're gonna. I mean, just for you, Scott, we're gonna grill some stuff up.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if anyone from Blackstone's listening, we could certainly use another sponsor. You hit us up.
Absolutely.
I'll give you 5 stars. I haven't even used it yet.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, after we got the cornbread reference, Annette always makes her cornbread in the cast iron pan. So.
Right. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Lebanon. No, Lebanon's another team that's going to be could make a lot of noise this year.
Yeah, I always butcher his name. Is it Gian? Izeta?
Zeta, the running back?
I think it's Guyan.
Yeah. Guyan Izeta.
I know we've butchered it. We apologize if we have.
Yeah, and they reminded us last year, but I just didn't save it, and that's on me.
Yeah. We'll hear it tomorrow night. Trust. No, don't worry about that. We'll get it right after tomorrow night. Promise you that.
But you know, they've got Gavin Gregory, and of course they pick up the Station Camp quarterback transfer. Quarterback Nate Dye to run the offense. So they've got some skill position players. Not that they didn't have them before, but you know, I think these guys are pretty doggone good.
This would be a pretty good offer too, Scott. No lie.
Oh, no lie, no lie. Just for the wings alone, he is the
Well,
wing. He is the wing guru.
there's that and the bacon wrapped honey buns.
Bacon wrapped. Okay, that's just.
Yeah, yeah. We were promised some of those at one time.
I mean,
Yeah.
whoever's making those is a genius.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
It's the best of both worlds.
it's there's something. they are something.
What's that one guy say? I'm never going to be a skinny guy.
No.
Food tastes too good. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
bacon wrap honey bun. That sounds 1,000 times better than some boiled broccoli. So steamed
Right.
broccoli.
Right.
Chris,
Right.
Mark, have you been to a beach game?
Have not.
Okay, he's got to go to beach.
Yeah.
This year.
100%. We'll get him up there for that.
If nothing else, for the fried pie with ice
I'll
cream.
take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they do that.
Well,
Yes.
let's just say this. You know, the type of tailgating you see nowadays, if you're high school games, you wouldn't have thought of 15, 20 years ago. They happened,
Oh no,
but not to
Oh,
the
no.
extent we've seen.
right.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, when we were in high school, it was like Coke cans and maybe some hot dogs out
Right,
of the back
yeah.
of a car.
Now
If
we're
that.
getting full blown spreads and NFL type tailgates.
Oh,
That,
I've seen it. It is. I'm like, are we at a Titans game or is this a high school
Yeah.
football game?
and
Yeah.
personally, I love it.
And I don't know any of y'all, but I'm gonna grab something from here, and you don't know who I am either. See ya, bye. That looks delicious. What team are you cheering for? I'm rooting for them. Can I have some of that?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's better for the atmosphere. I mean, there's nothing like it. And
no.
hang out with friends, have great food, then go watch some great football. Nothing like
Yeah,
it.
it's the purest form of reality TV that there is.
Yep. All right. So real quick, good time to drop in a bit about our sponsor for the year. This segment is brought to you by AccuWorks, Nashville's trusted property restoration experts. Here's the thing about disasters: water, fire, storm damage. They don't wait for a convenient time, and neither should you. AccuWorks has been helping Nashville homeowners and businesses since 2006, with a team available 24/7 to respond fast when it matters most. If disaster strikes your home or business, don't panic. Call AccuWorks. Save their number now, 615-292-2009. AccuWorks, ready when Music City needs them. Scan the QR code on the screen and learn more at AccuWorks.com. And we certainly thank AccuWorks for coming back on for another season
Yeah,
as our primary sponsor of this show and our scoreboard show, which will be Sunday morning for this week only.
yeah, guys. If you need anything like that, hit Jeff and his team up. They are amazing.
Yep. Turning our attention to out of our large class, we've already talked a little bit about the games tomorrow night, which feature BA, Len Lebanon in our large class, which is D2 AAA and 6A. But we've had our previews coming out on the website. Go check those out. And we want to talk about more about these large class teams.
Mhm.
Oakland, obviously, in 6A is the perennial favorite. But it feels like the gap might be narrower than ever.
Well,
What say you?
there's a lot of people who seem to think so. I've seen a few lists that have Riverdale as their projected to win that 3-6A region, and they certainly have loaded up the team. It's
Yes,
a
they have.
possible thing, but you know, it's hard to see a Creasy led team until I see it. I don't know that I'll 100% believe it. That regime is about to change. But I do think that a lot gets talked about what Riverdale has gained in the offseason. I don't think as much has been made about what Oakland gained in the offseason, what they already had. They get a running back, that actually comes over from in Jacob Vaughn comes over from Riverdale. They got Adrian Peebles uh, from Bridgewater, Mass, that comes over. Um, they're moving Dante Cameron to a athlete role so Cam Morton can throw. I mean, this Oakland team is loaded, and they seem to stay that way.
You know the second half of this sentence, Scott.
I didn't say it for that reason. I was expecting
Yeah.
a shot from the bleachers.
Well, just do your best Ric Flair impression.
Yeah.
To be the man, you got to be the man.
You got to beat the man. Yeah.
Woo!
2 claps and a Ric Flair.
2 claps, 3 claps and Ric Flair. Yeah, I'll do a better Ric Flair. I do a better Ric Flair when I'm
next show. You'll do his whole thing, his whole shtick.
Yeah,
it's either Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes. I don't know which.
Oh, Dusty Rhodes would be awesome.
See, it depends on the drink. It depends on the drink, baby.
But I mean, on the other side of the ball with Riverdale, it's kind of hard to. I mean, what they've added is significant. I mean, you get James Stewart on the defensive line. He was double teamed a lot last year. I don't know that teams will be able to do that as much at Riverdale. With Julius Malden and Keziah Newsom on that team. And then you got Hudson Fuqua in the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
I think that this is the game that's coming up at the end of the year.
Yep.
The Battle of the Borough. Mm-hmm. If everybody stays healthy, is going to be a game for the ages.
Yeah, and I asked that question in the preview today. Could this one be the best one ever? Now, that one 2 years ago, the semifinal or the quarterfinals, was an absolute barn burner and a lot to live up to. But when you consider the talent of both sides, it might be the most hyped up one ever when we get to October 30th. Yeah. And I'll say this. Yeah, there's not a lot been made about Oakland, what they've got coming back, but they prefer it that way. Chip Nobody is a mantra that they have over there, and for good reason. They are okay with it.
But there are two other teams in that region that may not be there this year, but in the next 2 years, very well, and that's Rockvale and Blackman. You got Will Hester over at Blackman, and what he's bringing in. Chase Bell, I hear, is lights out at quarterback. They have Miles Alexander over there now. Tristan Thornton. They've got several big players, and I think that they could play both of these teams well. Whether they can do it consistently or whether it's going to take some more depth for them to get to the top, I don't know.
Yeah, Matt's got a good point about rivalry games. Yeah, they should be, but there are a lot of situations where, like, especially with Gallatin and Hendersonville, they're not in the same region. They're not even in the same class anymore. So there's only 2 or 3 weeks that they could actually play. And having that rivalry game week 1 adds just a little bit to it, because you're not there. There's no waiting for somebody to come around and pop you in the mouth. It's coming right out the gate.
Yeah, because the other option is, if you want to have that game later, is to move up a region game earlier in your schedule, which a lot of teams really just don't want to do.
Yeah, like the back half of the year, that the schedule's already set by TSSAA anyway for the region games. So each team can request certain games to not have, or can request certain weeks to not have region games. But when you're having to play 6 or 7 of those, then there's only so many options. I'm okay with week 1 rivalry games if they're not in the same region.
The bad thing is that those games do tend to be a little bit more aggressive because they are rivalry games, and then you.
No comment there. It says everything you need to know.
Do I
Never
really get canceled this early?
Yeah.
But you do run the risk of injuries early in the season when you're playing a
Yeah.
rivalry game. It
Yeah, well, I
just
mean,
because
that's
seems to be amped up just a little bit.
yeah. There's just a little bit more of that, but yeah, and Alcoa and Maryville is this week too.
That's true.
So
Another big rivalry game.
yeah, uh, it's gonna be fun watching the large class teams, especially in 6A, to see if someone can unseat Oakland.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mark. I'm going to bring you in because I want to talk about your alma mater. Ravenwood's coming off of a championship game where they have a bad taste in their mouths.
Yeah,
And you've gotten some feedback from them about how they're kind of coming into this season, how they're feeling.
yeah. I mean, from who I've talked to and the kids I know on the team, that state championship game, I mean, was a killer. But they have come back with so much confidence with what I've talked to, and I think the biggest thing for me, and I think the biggest question is going to be, is now that Femi Babaloa and Maverick Chance are gone, Brooks Brown stepping in. And I've known that kid since he was 10 years old, and I've never seen a kid throw a football like that at 10 years old. And seeing him at the scrimmage, I saw some good things. You know what I mean? So the thing is, can they duplicate what they did last year? Because the games I saw and just the all out, from the first snap to the last, I mean, they were on. I wish I was in high school at Ravenwood right now watching this team play over the last couple of years compared to when I was there. It is so electrifying. Just some of the people, Aiden Woodruff transferring from BGA, like seeing him in person, like if he gets it going, I mean, he's a junior? Like that kid is going to be scary. And then I would give it halfway through the season. But I think that Ravenwood has, especially Oakland's logo, probably printed out somewhere, and they want a rematch with them. They want to give it back to them because it did not end like they wanted to. I mean, they were also the biggest thing with Ravenwood. They were senior heavy. They lost a lot of people going from last year. I mean,
I
dang near
believe
their
a
whole
total
entire.
of,
It was
I think
in the
it's 40 of them.
Yeah, I mean, they
Yeah.
lost pretty much their entire offensive line. They lost both their quarterbacks. I mean, they still have just the stalwart in Caden Pace in the backfield. That dude, that is a machine. So I'm super excited. I think Ravenwood has everything that they can have, and Coach is just incredible out there. Having been able to talk to him.
Yeah, and the thing about it is he's building a roster because they had I think 38 or 40 seniors last year. They've got 34 this year. So it's not like the experience is not there. There's definitely upperclassmen that will fit the bill. So
and it's just next man up mentality.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if you look about it, if you look at every major key position where they made a loss to senior, it's next man up, especially across the offensive line. I mean, the trenches, those guys they have is pretty incredible.
And we should definitely remember Cam's point right here that region should be closer between Brentwood and Indy improving. Ideally, I think that those are your top three. Indy probably still another year away from being right there with them, but they're gonna be in the picture.
Once Scott Blade gets everything incorporated the way he wants, and be able to put the right people in the right seats on the bus, I think India is going to, be fighting every year for that top spot. I don't think there is that far away, but I do think that they don't have quite the depth built yet. But I expect them to win some games this year that we may not ordinarily think that they might. Brentwood, Coach Finch is really high on his team this year. We saw that at media day. He really likes his depth and experience on both sides of the line, and this is the first time I think in 4 years that they have a returning quarterback coming in that has experience. And I think that Coach Finch touched on that, is that he is very high on his team this year. And quite frankly, the quarterback Is that Gavin Strang, I believe?
Gavin Strang, yeah, yeah, and he is high on Strang for that reason. I mean, just watching him throw in preseason, he's got capable targets at Parker Emerson and Jones Merrill to throw to. And offense looked like it was already starting to have some pretty good rhythm to it early on in the preseason. And Strang may be the best quarterback in this region. He's up there with Matthew Horner.
Yeah, and he's got the Navy commit Nebraska on the
Yep.
line along with Djokovic and Tanner Robb. So
Mhm.
this team is built to compete uh, with Ravenwood this year. It'll be really interesting to see if they can get over it, but you never can count Coach Rodriguez out. That man wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think that last year, I think Mark, you were exactly right. Uh, they've had this week circled since December. That the kids just wanted to get right back out there at it.
And I mean, just to kind of go with what you said with Brentwood, I think the Battle of the Woods this year at Brentwood is going to be, again, how we've been kind of talking about games of the ages, is big clashes. I think just like you said with Brentwood High having a quarterback coming back and definitely hearing from that team that and seeing some of the tape on them, I think with the biggest changes to Ravenwood, and I know I'll always be a Raptor to heart, but like looking at it, that game is going to be, I think, a really big telling on the season when that game does come. I've already got it circled. I'm going to be there. It's going to be something that I think really kind of hopefully sets the tone, and there could be a shift in power between in the Battle of the Woods with that, depending on what happens. So I think I that's going to be something that is going to be a lot of fun to watch once that game comes along.
Yep. Let's go back over to Lebanon's region for a minute. Green Hill's been at the top of that for the last couple of years, but they had a graduation exodus that has rendered them a much younger team this year.
Yeah, they're gonna. They lose a four-year starter at quarterback, I believe, and it's really going to be a sophomore, Seth Frankenfield, who's going to be running that offense. From every indication and what they ran in the scrimmage the other day. Although they do have another player back there that is more of a running quarterback. The question is going to be on their lines. Um, the is the offensive line going to be able to open up holes for Zachary Cartwright? Um, that's going to be the biggest question. Is their defense going to be as strong? Um, I think there are a lot of good questions. Their number ones look good for what little part they were in against Station Camp the other night. Um, but I still think that they're going to have some difficulty and growing pains, like you said, Chris. This is a young team, and they're that's another reason why I think the door is open for Lebanon this year.
And Gallatin, they're going to have a new quarterback as well. We'll talk about
Mhm.
them in a few minutes and who you got. Another team that was very young last year was Mount Juliet, and they went through a season unlike anything they've ever seen.
Oh
They
yeah,
went 2-8. They went 4 games to start the year without a touchdown, and you know Trey Perry probably has a little bit less hair than he did last year, but I will say, it probably will tell the group we don't want to forget last year because we want to remember where we were and how far we've come. And I think that'll be a mantra you'll see with the Golden Bears this year. That's one of those teams like we're curious to see how they develop and how much closer they can get back to where they want to be.
yeah. They kind of took a hit with the way feeder programs work in that area. I think uh, last year it was kind of one of the low ebb points uh, coming in. But they've got a good quarterback in Gizaw, uh, good running back in Merbitz. So I think they'll be better this year. I think that they end up. I mean, by the end of the year, once they kind of got some confidence and uh, some things under their belt, they started playing much better, much more like a Mount Juliet team that we've seen. So I don't think it'll be too long before they're back, but this year still think there's a bit of a seasoning curve there.
D2 AAA. Let's talk about them real quick. I know we've already mentioned BA, and NBA was one of those teams that has made itself a tough out. They haven't had a ton of wins over the last couple of years, but the ones that they have had have been statement wins.
Yeah, the over in DAAA, it's it's BA. They are right now they are the team du jour. I mean, you've got transfers coming in from Mississippi, transfers coming in across from across the state. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 9 D1 players on that roster that are commitments. Right now they are built. They have been built to go after Baylor. They're looking to hunt Red Raider, but they can't take their eye off of what's local and just focus on that for sure. Because there's some talent in the D2 AAA in the area, in Innsworth and NBA.
Yep. CPA too. I mean,
yep.
Yeah, their record wasn't great last year, but they made it to the semifinals for a 14th consecutive season. Every year Ingle Martin's been there, they've been to the semifinals.
Well, Ingle Martin's just one heck of a coach, and he gets the best. They do not have a lot of depth. They do not have, and they may not have, 9 D1 players, but they have their share. But Ingle Martin gets the absolute best out of anybody he coaches, and they've got some solid players this year. Definitely with some talent. Ben Hale, Isaiah Bryant on the lines. Hale had 26 pancakes last year. Got Jack Van Orman at quarterback. And then Wright Martin has really come on of late. I think he may have been one of the best kept secrets at tight end. He has put on weight. He's been in the weight room, you can tell. I saw them at Springfield practice. They were already ready to hit. First scrimmage.
Ainsworth, H.A. Gibson was someone we talked about a lot last year. Kind of got snubbed in the Mr. Football conversation. That's got to be another just little boost for them this year to try to get more out of them.
From what I understand, he's got a chip on his shoulder about the snub. And I imagine his teammates have one on there as well. He is a very, very talented runner, and they've got some really good players on that team. They got Ashton Coles, Eli Coles to open up some room there. I don't think you sleep on Innsworth. They have a lot of talent. It's just when you look at a team like BA that's got all the pedigrees and things like that, it seems like, it doesn't. It's not showy, but Innsworth is a very, very solid team.
Matt, that's a solid day's work. 26 pancakes, solid day's work.
Pictures are it doesn't count. It's not true.
yeah. And only the finest maple syrup too.
Dude, I'm a waffle guy.
All right, it's been fun. I'm gonna get out of here now after you said that.
Hey,
we have to mention. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, until you spent several 2 a.m. sessions at Waffle House with a pecan waffle, don't come at me with pancakes.
Hey, if you guys ever go way east out towards Gatlinburg, I'm stopping by Davy Crockett's and getting me some of them pancakes. Those will change your life.
Yeah.
All right. That's why.
Accepted.
I don't think you can do 26 of those now. If you tried, I'd pay to see that happen. But
that would be content. That would be content
I can't do 26
just
the
attempt.
Content and then a quick visit to the ER.
Yeah. have to mention Antioch too in the 6A discussion.
Yeah.
That's get ready for more of a show from that offense, especially with Andre Adams coming back, and they're salty over how last season ended.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I think that that the relationship between Andre and his brother Aiden, Chris, you saw that up close.
Oh yeah,
They already look like they're in mid-season form, and
yeah.
I think I think the addition of Kwan Taylor from Lawson,
Mhm.
that's a big addition on both sides of the ball. Um, he's going to help them in the defensive backfield. He's going to help them at the running back position. I think that is a huge asset. Just like you know, having Adrian Watts, I think he steps up at running back this year. Um, Antioch is in a really good position. I I think that you know, just when I think that they may pull back on Andre just a little bit and try to then you start throwing me highlights of, of the scrimmage, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're gonna let him air it out. Andre's gonna
Oh yeah,
Andre.
yeah, yeah. And Aiden is a more than capable deep threat too, as they found out, as Brentwood Academy found out in the scrimmage, and it'll turn some heads. Don't sleep on Antioch. They're gonna have a chance to prove a lot in a hurry this year for themselves. Real quick before we leave the large class, we got to talk about Lipscomb Academy. Trent Dilfer is back for his second go, but now it's in AAA and not in AA. So is the learning curve a little bit steeper now that he's got to face the AAA competition? Do you think?
I think so. I think that, but I think that he knows going in that he's taking a good assessment of his program. I think Trent's got uh, uh, should say Coach Dilfer, excuse me, is going to he's got his eye, not necessarily on this year, but 2-3 years down the road, trying to build. Now, that's not to say that he's not going to try to win right away. It's just that I think that his school is going to be one of those ones that's built to grow into 3A. He's got a lot of, I mean, he's got a stable of quarterbacks, and he's brought in quite a few players. He gets Cheyenne Harris from Pearl Cone. He gets Colby Barone at the linebacker from Independence. Tyson Robbins from Page. He's pulled quite a bit of talent over there. It's just going to be how quickly can they gel in his system.
All right, let's switch gears now. Talk about our medium class teams, and I'm going to start with kind of the obvious one in D2 AA with BGA, a team that we will see Saturday in a nationally televised game in Alabama, and more on that in a bit. They graduate one of the more productive quarterbacks we've seen around here in quite some time. Caden Marable it put up ridiculous numbers, and now it's Bo Bryant's turn for them.
Yeah, I think that Bo sat behind Caden and learned the system. He played quite a bit last year because a lot of those games got out of hand, and so he got to play against number one defenses. So it's not going to be a shock like it might be throwing somebody else in that never, that didn't play, because they did have so many games that were lopsided that he got meaningful minutes last year. And I really think that Bo Bryan's going to be immediately a big part of the offense. You're going to hear his name quite a bit, players of the week type of situations. And the great thing about BGA is that they still have a ton of talent on that team. You know, you look at Justice Pittman, the lineman, plays both ways. Uh, you've got great receivers in Max Curry and Maddox Porter. Fletcher Field's still running the ball. So the great thing is that Bo Bryant's not coming in with a whole lot of new players that he has to build chemistry with because he's played with these guys.
Yeah, it's almost must-see TV with Porter and Curry, especially out wide. That's one thing I'll be looking at on Saturday when they play in the afternoon, just to see, how this offense runs with Bryant throwing into those two. I mean, like you said, he's had plenty of playing time in those situations. Now, when he's running, reps with the first team for the first time in live action, definitely one thing to watch for this weekend for sure.
I mean, also on the defensive side too. I mean, you got to look at the quarterback they're going up against in Gunnar Rivers.
Yeah,
I mean, that guy threw over 3,000 yards, 46 touchdowns last year. I mean, so it's going to be a true test in week 1 that, can BGA extend what they did last year, followed up against a good team. I mean, first game of the season against a good quarterback. How does that defense respond?
Yeah, that was one of my circled matchups, be Gunnar Rivers against Evan Kellum, the defensive back that had 6 picks last year. That's going to be a really interesting matchup there. Yeah, Matt, that is Philip Rivers' son.
One of his many.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing like a little popcorn at 1:30 in the afternoon. Have to sit down in
Get
front
it
of the
ready.
TV. Get it ready. It's going to be worth watching for sure.
Yep.
FRA, the team that BGA thoroughly dismantled in the championship game last year, to definitely avenge their loss to him in the regular season. And you talk about guys that are not feeling too good about what happened in December. Justin Geisinger's bunch, they are. That might be it might be a band of fire behind them trying to get back to Chattanooga.
Yeah, I
than everyone.
see that. Yeah, they were not happy at all, and understandably so. Another team with just outstanding talent all over the place. With Jack Nimitz gets his first full year, it being his offense at quarterback, and you'd be remiss not to mention Omari Sanders, who's absolutely awesome on both sides of the ball. Excuse me, Vanderbilt commit. Probably going to play outside linebacker there, but also as a load to bring down at wide receiver. The Quadir Fletcher, running back, he had 558 yards rushing last year. So, Chris, I think that as much as I still think they're a bit young in certain areas, though, so it's going to be a battle. But do I think they have the talent to take down BGA? Yes, absolutely do.
Yeah, I mean, then we'll see that midseason when those two clash down to BGA, and I think it's really in AA. I think it's those two again. Playing for a state championship. It's going to be tough for anybody else to rise to the level of those two teams.
I do want to mention one team though that I think is on the rise in that division. That's Good Pasture. I think Good Pasture. I think Coach Turner's got things going there. Chase Angel, is a tremendous 1,700-yard passer. They lose their starting running back, but they pick up Marcus Cantrell from JP2. And then, of course, they have Tennessee commit Slim Lavelle out at the wide receiver spot. So, also defensive back. I think that this Good Pasture team, is going to be. I don't know that they can challenge the top 2 spots, but they're going to be right in it. And truthfully, I was out of the DA scrimmage. They are still the smallest school in D2 AA. And that costs them because they need the depth and they just don't have it. But I saw that team out there in the scrimmage, and they absolutely were putting hat on hat. So that's a team that's going to hit you too.
5A, Page finally got it done last year. Got over the hill. 5th time was the charm. But now they got to hit the reset button, and they are officially the hunted as opposed to the hunter.
This is true. I mean, it's now they pulled that's the one thing about the gold ball is that now you have the target. Now you're king of the hill. But they still have Cam Cruz. Got a new receiver in Dylan Streeter. Isaac Oatie's still running the ball. And from what I understand, he's put on a boatload of muscle over the
as if he didn't already have it.
Yeah. Mac Lee, the tremendous tight end. But the strength of Page is always going to be their lines, their offensive line, their defensive line. And I think they still have it. I mean, I've not seen anything that shows me that Page is, a step slower. I think that they still have enough pieces there, and they've got a new offensive coordinator in Hayden Alexander. That's going to be interesting to see what his offense brings.
Sevier County, Page, the last 2 years in the championship games have both been. Well, last year was down to the wire. Potentially round 3 for those two.
You're looking at. I'm sorry, Chris.
If I was a betting man, I'd say yes.
Yeah, for the championship game this year.
I mean, yeah,
Sevier County.
Yeah, I think
that's what I've got.
Yeah.
It would be shocking not to see those two back in it.
Yeah, but there's a team out there that could possibly threaten Page.
Go ahead and say it.
Beach. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell it from week 1, I'm afraid, but because they're going to be missing some pieces. But Sawyer Phillips takes over at quarterback. He's been an understudy for a year. It's his team now. He's got a strong arm. DK Williams and Cardell Douglas at the running backs. There goes your bacon wrapped honey buns.
Matt, you didn't even let us finish. I mean, we were getting right to them. You got a little
whatever they were talking about. I was going to say the opposite because I still want the honey buns.
Well, that's because we said Page would be back in it. But I mean, it's not that Page isn't as good. It's just I don't see anything that says that Page isn't going to be there.
I will say this though, just given that I was there for that playoff game last year, Beach gave them more trouble than anybody else.
Yeah,
100%. That was the best matchup for them before Sevier County, obviously, but that was easily the best matchup for them that they had all year.
Yeah, but they still have one of the best defenders in the entire state, in my opinion, in DK Williams.
Yeah.
They've got a really strong offensive line. London Parks is a SEMO commitment. He's outstanding. Hunter Smith. You've got a lot of talent on that team. I think that this team will be the one to threaten Page if there's a threat to be made.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit shorthanded for a week or so, based on some things that happened during scrimmages, but they're not missing reaching games. Yeah. So they should be fine. They should be absolutely fine. 4A's in our medium class too. Let's get to them real quick because I do want to kind of speed this up just a little bit. Procom. Three out of the last 4 years they've been in the state championship game. They've had one gold ball, but they gave Alcoa some problems last year. Can they get a little bit closer to them or maybe even knock them off this year?
Yes, they can. In fact, to give it away, I have them knocking off Alcoa. Just because this is the first Pearl team that I've seen in the preseason and talked to at media day that in a while that I felt was just dialed in, focused. their senior leadership, I think, is a big thing this year. They have the talent. I mean, you've got, you know, LJ Funk, you know, the Toledo commitment at quarterback. He's looked good. Lance Donaldson, the running back, Steven Salter, WKU commit. And then don't kick to him because you'll pay for it. Landon Left.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, they've got the line, you know, the offensive line too. They always seem to have a great offensive line. It's just a matter of them playing within themselves, playing disciplined, because they have the talent to take it to Alcoa this year.
I want to talk about Landon Left for just a second. And you know, Barryon Brown was an absolute stud at Procon.
Mm-hmm.
How much is how good's the comparison when we talk about Landon Left?
I think Landon Left. I think Barryon was faster. He was a speed demon. He would leave you in the wake, and it was the same thing with him on special teams. He could get an edge and go. I think Landon's. I don't know that he has Barryon's speed, but he has, in my opinion, some of the best vision out there. You see him return a punt, a kick. You see him return an interception, and it's all about his eyes. He seems to find that seam that no one else sees. Instead of outrunning him, he's out maneuvering, and I think that he is incredibly talented, and has been blessed with really, really good instincts.
Yeah, it's hard catching Barryon Brown's speed for sure. But given that track program as well, we're talking maybe 99 speed against 97 speed.
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
Landon Left can still scoot. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah. He gets open. You're not going to catch him.
Yeah.
But it's just with Barryon, it was just world class speed, which is why I think New Orleans picked him up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in their region, Springfield's there as well, and Jermaine Cobbins is gonna to be as good as he is now, and considering he's got 2 more full seasons ahead of him.
Yeah. Wrap him in bubble wrap.
Yeah. Yeah, Springfield fans are going to have just a joy to watch him this year, and Case and Woodson, especially with those two. I guess they would have to be the threat to Pearl Cone in that region, wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Pearl Cone has got to keep their head on the swivel. With Springfield, Springfield will knock it off. Still have Cason Woodson at quarterback and Marion Lavelle running back. And then you mentioned Cobbins. Cobbins is going to direct a lot of traffic his way, which means their tight end, Bryce Baldwin, may have a tremendous year. Now, I've seen him this year as another kid who has added a boatload of weight, and my understanding is he has been solely focused this year on trying to be the absolute best version of himself that he can. I think that you don't sleep on Springfield at all, or they will absolutely bite you.
All right, let's take a quick break to talk about our good folks at AccuWorks. Tonight's show is sponsored by AccuWorks, Nashville's most trusted premium property restoration. They've got a great motto over there: big enough to handle anything, small enough to care. And honestly, the reviews back that up with hundreds of 5-star ratings from homeowners and business owners who say the same thing. Honest communication, real care, stress-free recovery. Whether it's water, fire, mold, or storm damage, AccuWorks treats every property like it's their own. You can scan the QR code on the screen now and learn more at AccuWorks.com. Or also call 615-292-2009 as well. All right. So back to more discussion. We're going to switch to the small class now and get those classes in. D2 single A, 1A, 2A, 3A. let's start in 2A because I want to start with East Nashville. 6-6 last year, an up and down year for them, but arguably as much talent as any team in that class, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, tremendous talent there. Dallas Covington at quarterback. Yeah, he's a Western Kentucky commit. Yeah, 2,100 yards passing, but he runs the ball really well too. He's just a very very talented quarterback. You got Van Leer coming back at running back. Cavante Pitts going to play strong safety over there. The big one, the big addition for me is Micah Graves. They get Micah Graves from Maplewood, and he's I saw him at running. I thought he was going to play wide receiver, but I saw him at running back in one of the scrimmages, and he looked really, really, really good. And I would say that Micah Graves is going to be one of those surprises at the uh, at the end of the year that is going to have tremendous numbers.
East Robertson, new head coach over there. Chris Keelan's got to take over after Chase Brooks departed. Uh, they've still got one of the most dependable quarterbacks around.
Yeah, Mr. Football finalist,
Mm-hmm.
Casey Young, right?
Jason Young.
Yeah, he had it was like 20, almost 2,700 yards passing last year. But really, to me, it's going to be how good is their line. Um, what's their team speed like? I mean, they lost a lot of really, really good players. But Kanye Prince, Caden Groves, there's talent there. There's talent there. It's just, and is there a change in system? We don't know. Um, so they're going to be interesting to watch early in the year to see how they play. But my understanding is that there's going to be a drop off, but it may not be quite as severe as might be expected.
Yep. 3A. We'll go back to them real quick. That class has kind of been up and down depending on who you talk about. But I want to talk about Whites Creek. Whites Creek is one of those teams that you're kind of waiting to bring the bus through. They started off hot last year, but tailed off at the end and missed the playoffs altogether, which was a
Yeah,
devastating blow for them. But because Maplewood is ineligible for the postseason this year, the rest of that region is already playoff bound.
right. Yeah, yeah. So everybody there has already made it, so they need to, and they've gotten better too. My understanding is, talking to them media day is that they were not happy at all with what happened down the stretch, and they are focused on not allowing that to happen again. Um, they uh, lost train of thought. Yeah, Dion Barnes. Sorry, he is outstanding talent at quarterback. Curly Holland at receiver. But they picked up Amari Mitchell from FRA, and his leadership and will be big for them, in my opinion. So I think that this team right now, I think they do have strong memory from last year, and I think that they're focused a little bit more. Um, they won't tell you what game is circled on their schedule, but you have to believe that the White House Heritage game has got to be one of them.
I was about to say White House Heritage would be one for that reason. And speaking of the Patriots, Xavier Murray, kind of a tough deal with him last year.
Mm-hmm.
How do they bounce back from the disappointment?
Well, I think that last year he had to play not necessarily his game because their defense was stouter than, and their offense was up and coming. So it became more of a defensive uh, and conservative offensive game. I think. I think this year they're a little bit stouter. at the receiver spots. Dry Williams, a pretty big target. Um, so I think that he gets the reins let off of him this year a little bit, and he goes back to doing what he does well, which is reading defenses and slinging the ball around. Um, so it'll be really interesting to see how that region goes between Whites Creek and White House Heritage, because both teams uh, are very, very capable of winning that region.
Yep. 1A, I think we need to talk first and foremost about Gordonsville. There's a program that has been as consistent as any around the area for the last decade, when they've had at least one playoff win in 9 out of 10 years.
Did you say 1A or 2A?
Or 2A, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I keep forgetting they moved up, but
yeah, no, it's understandable. When I rolled over to my 1A page, I had a very small panic attack because I had nothing on it.
That's on me. That's on me.
It's all good. Yeah, Coach
Wait,
Jackson.
y'all have notes? No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
What are those?
Hey, look, those teams that ended in December, they weren't the only ones who had their off-season work ahead of.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Jackson, he's really got that team believing. That's a small community, but by gosh, they are absolutely rabid for their Tigers over there. That you lose Jay Foster, who was a really, really good quarterback. I'm not really sure who they have in that position yet, because last I heard it was a 3-man race.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have Turner Butcher back there at running back, and he had 1,100 yards rushing last year. And Coach Jackson, he really likes to run the ball, play solid defense. So, but they picked up some players from Smith County, which including Rustin Kemp.
That's not going to sit well with Carthage.
Yeah, well, neither is calling of Carthage.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But I mean, you get a linebacker like Rustin Kemp over. Of course, his brother plays at Gordonsville, so it was only a matter of time to get them together. You also get Caden Mason, the linebacker. So you get 2 good linebackers from Smith County, and Rustin can actually play offensive line. Mason's a running back, so he's going to help Butcher. This team in 2A could absolutely make a run. This is as good a team I think as Gordonsville's had, depending on what their quarterback situation, how that plays out.
Yeah, and they'll have a good test this week to see how that will play out, because with Coalfield coming in, we'll talk more about them in just a couple minutes. That'd be the big test to get a starter and find your guy.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that in that region, that is Gordonsville and East Nashville right now. Although you can't count out Cannon County 100%. They've got some players over there. They did lose some, but you've got Corbin Garrett, the sophomore, coming up. He's 6'3", 183. He's a big, big cornerback. Jaden Shannon returns. They've got a really good kicker in Adrian Prater. Zeke Walkup, the Maryland commit, is there. So you can't count out Cannon County. They very well could play a spoiler in this region, and that's not to say that they're not good enough. There is one team though, Chris, in 3A that I think bears talking about just real quick, and I'll let you talk about that, and that's Fairview. I think that Fairview is another one of those teams that could be really good.
Yeah, it's always an interesting group to talk about with Chris Hughes' bunch over at Fairview. They're competitive every year, but it seems like they have one game where they just kind of slip and lose what they shouldn't, and when it comes playoff time, that puts them in a seating that they don't need to be in.
Yeah.
But there's definitely plenty of talent over at Fairview, and at media day we had listened to some of them. It feels like it's more of a team that's kind of just trying to focus on themselves and just be one step better than they were last year. Bryson Harrison at running back is going to be a key player there. Wyatt Langford, definitely a player to watch at defensive end, at tight end for them. Lincoln Kelly, wide receiver at corner, and Gage Proctor as well at corner, a key senior for them.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, Cole Neal, the linebacker, had 112 tackles last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is a very talented Fairview team. That's why I just wanted to make sure that we mentioned them because they bear watching.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing is like they're in that western half of that bracket in 3A where you've just got just absolute tough teams out there that are going to make it really hard to make any sort of deep playoff run. 3A is one of those classes that it's tough to break through right now for area teams just because of that.
Yep.
We don't have a ton of teams in 1A. I think we only got 4. But I want to mention like Eagleville is one to keep an eye on too. 1A. They also have that kind of that western path that is probably a little tougher than the eastern side.
Yeah, Benton Fox is still there. He rushed for I think he's going to be their quarterback actually this year. He had 486 yards. He wasn't the starter, I don't think, last year. But they've got several good players. I think that, like you said, that their lane is a little bit. I don't know if they'll win that region, but I think that they are definitely in play for a home playoff game.
Yeah, that would certainly serve them well.
Yeah, I think another team that looks to be improved in that region is going to be Joe Burns. I think that now, just with John Michael Wicks there and Markarian Hyde, Junior Cathy at quarterback. He's a sophomore, but I think that they're talented enough to do well in that region as well. So.
Yep. Yeah. And that Cam's right on this one. Yeah, they should definitely be able to compete better with Clay County for that region title. That's probably your top. It's easily your top 2, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
And everybody in that region goes to the.
Yeah, it's a 4-team region, which is another whole deal in itself. I don't like, but
I was called what you call it, an abomination.
Another discussion for another day. We'll quickly D2 single A, Nashville Christian. Still looking to be the top dog there. No more Jared Curtis now. It's Tate Mathis at starting quarterback, but they still have plenty of talent around him.
They do. Caden Grigsby is a tremendous receiver. And then, of course, their line is still good. You still have Colin Romero on that line, and several. They just have players, and they picked up a tight end in Grace Snodgrass from Clarksville Academy, and they've picked up a few players here and there. So they've reloaded just a bit. I think that they are still truthfully a team to beat, but there's another team out there that absolutely could knock them off.
Yeah, and let's go east for that one with Friendship Christian and the Commanders. That's a program that has a history of excellence, and Sean McNeil is the area's winningest active head coach right now, and for good reason. He just puts good teams out there, and this one could very well be one of his best ones.
Yeah, it absolutely could. The talent on that team is as good, if not maybe even a little better than what's on Nashville Christian. I'm not trying to create any bulletin board material. I'm just saying these two teams are meant to face off. That's and you got a solid quarterback in Blake Waldorf. You get Nathaniel Brogdon over from Green Hill. to join Ryder Walcott. So they've got, and that's one thing that Coach McNeil does is he seems to maximize the most out of his running backs, and he seems to always run a two-back system, and he runs it to perfection. But their offensive line is just absolutely stout. You've got Caden Buchanan, you've got Jackson Hummel. AJ Hartless comes over from Davidson Academy. You still got Brixton Doris getting on that team. Their line is road graders. They are going to run some people absolutely over this year. But they still have, but they've got talent on the outside too. Romel Anderson comes over from Mount Juliet. Nicholas Pointer comes over from Lipscomb Academy. You got two big wide receivers there, or good wide receiver, not big, good wide receivers there. And you also have Caleb Graves. There's just a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah. A potential, maybe a sleeper team in D2 single A, Middle Tennessee Christian.
Oh, yeah. Once again, Middle Tennessee Christian they've been good for quite a bit, and they're still going to be a threat in that region. Sorry, my screen thing. Yeah, Lamario Nichols back at quarterback, but Ali Bangura is their workhorse. He is an absolute stud at running back, but also plays defense. Shy Murphy is still there this year. He was another big big factor. So yeah, Middle Tennessee Christian is still a team out there that could threaten either one of these teams. May not win the region, but they could threaten one of them for a playoff spot or a home playoff game for certain.
Yep. Marty Everard back in the coaching ranks. He's at Providence Christian after a year off from MBA.
Yeah, that didn't take long.
Yeah. Providence Christian, a semifinal team from last year, but they graduated quite a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to take a season or two for PCA to get back as good as they were last year. It's just now with Coach Everard there, it won't be as long as it might be otherwise. But I honestly believe that they're still probably it's going to take him a little bit to install his system and get the players he needs to get in there. Quite frankly, he's in a loaded area. Kids in the area are going to Oakland. Kids in the area are going to Blackman. Kids in the area are going to Riverdale, Rockvale. So it's going to take him a little bit to get the talent to come his way.
Yep.
But I don't think it'll be long.
Yep. All right. It's about that time to give the people what they want. Our picks for our top 10 games of the week. Scott, cover yours. It's time for who you got.
That's always
power
valid.
chords. Power chords for the people.
I didn't appreciate it. I guess I had to listen to it for at least once.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it didn't help me to cover my ears because all I did was.
Yeah, you just made it even louder, Scott.
Yeah, right.
In honor of the Foo Fighters playing Nissan Stadium for the last time, had to do it. I'm not obligated. I'm not obligated to run the standings from last year, am I? I don't think I am.
I don't think you're obligated.
Do it.
No, let's not.
Have to.
Let's not. Let's not, because it was bad. Like, Cam's the defending champ. We'll give him that, and we'll just we'll wipe the slate clean. I would like to definitely.
Yeah, trust me. If anybody out there shouldn't want it shown, it's me.
Well, yeah, same here. And for very good reason. No, I was not very good last year, and as Joe will attest, Joe called me a bad champion, and he's right. I was. But I'm bound and determined to get away with that and have a much better 2026. And I'll pull these games up real quick. Let's start with Thursday night. Let's start with BA and Baylor. And we are all on the Red Raiders side this time. BA fans, look away.
Yeah, it's yeah. I just think Baylor's got Superman, right? I mean, David Gabriel George is just built different. You add to that, they've got a top 10 recruit in Keegan Croucher. They're solid on both sides of the ball. Um, I just, I really, really wanted to pick BA here, but they're going to have to keep the ball away from DGG. They're going to have to run the ball a lot. They're going to have to extend drives, not turn it over. And they're going to have to tackle extremely well. It's just the home run ability of George that worries me here.
Yeah.
And Scott, did you compare him to Superman? Is that what you said?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, short of kryptonite, I don't know what's going to stop him. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, part of me, just with the way BA has come back and made a turnaround last couple of years, part of me wanted to take the underdog, but just when you have someone as good as him in the backfield, and like you said, the quarterback they have is just an all-around team, I just think it's hard for really any team to make a chance at him right now. I mean, if it's going to be a team, it's going to be Brown Academy, but I just thought with just the way DGG has been playing and just the freak athleticism and everything else they have, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, granted, yes, they did that, Matt, but that was last year. Now, one could argue that their defensive line, that the BA defensive line got better. I know their offensive line did, and that's why I think this game is closer. If it can be, if you can, think that it's going to be a little bit closer than last year by about a point, in my opinion.
And by contain, if you mean 28 carries for 152 yards, then yeah, they did, but he was still effective.
Yeah.
5.4 yards per carry, and 3 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown on top of that. So,
and I think being at Baylor is something else as well.
Definitely.
And on campus as opposed to a quote unquote neutral site at Finley Stadium.
Well,
yeah,
at Finley
containing quotation marks would be right.
Well, at Finley Stadium, you had Baylor fans, and then you had everybody that wanted to see Baylor go down pulling for Brentwood Academy. So, this one's going to be more of a true home field advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to bring in Connor Cornett for this one. He's just been able to pop on. The mayor of Antioch officially makes his season debut. Connor, good evening, man.
Yeah, good to see y'all too. It's been a busy one.
Yeah, we're just talking BA Baylor right now. We just got our pick started, so let me know what you got on that one.
I took Baylor. It'll be a competitive game, but I think Baylor still carries momentum from last year's state championship game, and they ride off that momentum. I mean, BA's got a loaded squad this year. I think it'll be a lot closer than we expect, but I think Baylor will still ride on top, especially with DGG leading.
Joe did a massive jump scare.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew we were going to pull you in like that. Let's move on to Nolensville and Lebanon. We're all on Lebanon, and I know Mark and I are pretty close to Nolensville in physical distance, but
I'm not going to be able to show my face now.
Yeah, same. Also, the fans. Let me just say, the fans couldn't agree on who to pick for this one, and really, y'all couldn't figure one more person to vote one way or another.
They didn't get quite organized this early.
I'm getting an update though. Lebanon did get the overtime vote, so they'll stay on this side. All right.
Yeah. Right now, Zeta, we talked about him earlier. I just think that Lebanon's offense has actually improved. I think that Nate Dye running the offense is talented. I, like I said, I feel like Nolensville's right there. They've got a ton of talent. I just don't know if their experience is quite as strong as the Blue Devils. That's not to say that Ryan Newell and Tristan McSay won't make plays, and they're going to have to get Andrew Harrison, their tight end, involved early. But I just feel like Lebanon, with the more experience and being at home, is going to pull this one out.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I think Lebanon home field advantage is enough to swing it for me. If it was at Nolensville, I'd probably take the Knights. But this Lebanon group, I think, wants to get off to another good start, and then they'll get to do it on TV. I will say, though, I do like this Nolensville team. I think they'll be pretty good at the end of the year. We'll be talking about them again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like we talked about earlier, I think this Nolensville team is only going to get better as the season rolls on.
Yeah. If Coach Stidham is taking notes, that's okay. If they win, one of us will apologize to him on the field. So,
yep. That's it.
That won't be an issue here. What about Friday? Brentwood and Smyrna. We're all on Brentwood.
I think this game is going to be close for a while. I think that Brentwood's going to. They have the experience on the offensive line at the quarterback position. We talked about Gavin Strang being back and having the weapons on the outside. The Bulldogs are going to surprise some teams this year. They're sneaky good, and they have a veteran defense that flies the ball, creates turnovers, tackles well. AJ Jones is back at quarterback. He's a problem running and passing. And they had some beef up front. But I just think that the depth of Brentwood here is what puts them over the top.
Yeah. For me, that offense for Brentwood, I think, looked pretty well in sync in their scrimmage against Nolensville, and that's a group that just might be a little too talented for this game. Smyrna, I've heard it is definitely improved, but they might still be kind of working their way up under Mark Williams in his first game as head coach after he took over from Matt. So, like Brentwood, this one, I think Smyrna might be a contender for a playoff spot this year in that region, but that's going to be tough for them as well.
Right.
Coalfield and Gordonsville. We were just talking about Gordonsville a few moments ago. We're all on Gordonsville in this one. Coalfield's top 10 in 1A. Gordonsville, I think, was tied for 7th in 2A. The fans seem to agree. They're all 100% on Gordonsville.
Wow. We got all the fans to agree. Mark,
I think it's never happened before. You put him on the spot.
No, I was trying. There was some noise in the background. I was up, as you see, walking behind. I mean, it's a madhouse over here.
Fan of Mark Walker's room.
Stay out of the domicile. No, I might not be the best one to talk about that yet, Scott. You got to let me get some tread off the tires and get some little more research and throw me in there. I can tell you my score looks good. All right.
Yeah.
I think my score looks good. It's close to Connor's,
Okay.
But just off what from what we were talking about with Gordonsville, I just think it was a pretty easy pick with the research that I did.
Yeah.
And I agree with the 7 points there. I mean, whenever it comes to small class football, I always associate it with like just really heavy run game, very low scoring games. So, I mean, I think the 7 points is justifiable there, and good defense as well.
Yeah. Mark, you got sniped for the first time.
Sorry about that, Mark.
All right, Scott, I'm just never buying you a cheesesteak ever. Never gonna happen.
I don't know. Well, we know where. Hey, at least we agree on where we're going.
Exactly.
I tell you who doesn't agree is everybody on Galveston Hendersonville, because they're split down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. I think Hendersonville's returning 80% of its offensive line, and that includes Arkansas commitment taking Parachek, and also they've got Colt Patterson coming back. Their running game is going to be their calling card this year. They've got Tate Rumney. He ran for 1,000 yards last year. That's going to take pressure off of Chris Jordan, Aiden Meadows at the wide receiver. I really like this. I'm sneaky high on this Hendersonville team. That they don't always get the notice, but it seems like they always are in it. And usually, if they're out of it, it's something that they've done, to shoot themselves in the foot, like penalties or special teams or things like that. I think that Hendersonville has just got a little bit more experience, but Gallatin, I don't think is too far off. They got Landry Roddy now at quarterback. He's moving into starter role. But that's the thing. He can't afford to make mistakes against this Hendersonville team.
Yeah, I'm leaning on the Hendersonville experience in this one. Gallatin, has lost quite a bit of production on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to have to take a few games to really kind of see what they have with Landry Roddy, their quarterback. And Gallatin nipped Hendersonville last year, and the Commandos certainly remember it. And I think a little revenge is in order for them week 1 at home.
Yeah.
Madison Ridgeland comes to make the return trip to Ravenwood. We all are taking the Raptors in this one, and a lot of points expected here.
Yeah, I just thought that the very fact that Coach Rodriguez talked about how quickly those guys wanted to get back onto the field after in December after Blue Cross Bowl. You could tell that they were ready to stop talking about it and get out there and just put hat to hat. They've just got a plethora of experience and talented weapons, even though they graduated some people. Quarterback is the biggest question mark with Brooks Brown, but for everything that I've seen, he looks the part. But Caden Pace is going to be their bell cow. But one addition that we didn't talk about that I think is going to be very, very big is the addition of Anthony Brown as the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
His defenses are always tough. And I think that the addition of him, and of course they get Aiden Woodruff, that to me is just going to be hard to overcome.
Yeah, that was one thing with Brown when he was at Hillsborough. His defenses did play tough, and that's going to be just a mentality that he brings over to Ravenwood, like they need it. But it's almost like the rich get richer there. But that type of mentality might be that one little extra ingredient that they might need to make the difference up this year. NBA and Pearl Cone, we're kind of split again, but everybody that's on this show right here, Mark's got NBA. So Mark, I'll let you defend that one.
Now that I picked wrong. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I picked wrong. That was a premature pick on my behalf. It's a rookie move, to be completely honest. So I would like to phone a friend and change that up if at all possible.
Be careful, Mark. Be careful, Mark, because quite frankly, we found that most of the time when somebody does something like that, they end up winning.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I mean, I just think, if you go, historically, I mean, what we were talking about with, how good Pearl Con's been in the last, 3 out of 4, 3-4 years making it to the state championship. NBA historically, even me growing up, has always been kind of a powerhouse. Maybe not so much in the past little bit, but something about when I was picking, I was like, there's always that one team, like you said, that just you don't expect it, And I just had this inkling about, if there was one that was going to be, I guess you would consider an upset going into this week, is something about NBA in this game just kind of gave me that feeling. So, never mind. I backtrack. I stand by my pick.
Okay. There you go.
I stand by it.
I respect that. I respect that.
Me,
I
20
don't know if I
years
would call it
ago,
an
I would
upset.
have probably never said anything about NBA, but I'm sticking by it. You know, I think, will it happen? Who knows? If it does happen, I look like a genius. So
It happened last year.
it's a win-win for me.
I disagree with Joe. That wasn't the only reason. My understanding is his voodoo doll ran out. What happens when you don't sacrifice the live chicken? But now
I'm
Pearl's got a
hungry
long
again,
memory.
so don't do that.
I'm sitting here with the pizzas getting cold.
Cue the Domino's
Yeah.
box. It's about to come by.
Hang on, let me make a phone call.
The Domino's is here.
If that's what we need, Brooksy, that should be the next endorsement here. I mean, with
Yeah,
you get it.
yeah. If you
Give me 20 minutes.
If any of you are,
I think you have enough points to get that to work.
if any
Probably,
of you
yeah.
want to sponsor and you own pizza, we will come to you, and we will
100%, full stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Pearl Cone's got a lot of memory. Last year, but in that game, the Firebirds allowed a pick six and a punt block. Those were the only scores that NBA had, except for the field goal that won it. Coach Brunetti's, he's going to be preaching ball control, patience. Firebirds load with talent. But NBA always seems to make it tough. And I think that, they're going to try to keep the ball on the ground as much as they can, keep the playmakers off the field. That means Charlie Pace, Jake Meinhardt, Mason Wells, Crosby Bond are going to have to open up holes for William Wade, let him run. And Berner's going to have to protect the ball and utilize Bennett Conyers as tight end.
Yeah, Joe, spot on with this one. LJ Funk has grown so much over the last 12 months, and that's. Is it premature to say he's a Mr. Football candidate? Who knows? But this is a good place to start.
And to tell you the truth, that's one thing that really impressed on me at Media Day was how focused and how much those guys have changed. Their answers were all, for every question, it was like they are just laser focused in. They have been putting in the work. It was a different mindset, I think, from what I'd seen out of Pearl, in the past. And quite frankly, I think this is a different team up here.
Yeah, I do. I like Pearl this year. I really do. I hesitate to say this, but the one thing that has hurt them in a lot of situations has been special teams mistakes, whether it's been bad snaps or a bad kicking situation. If they can clean that part of the game up, sky's the limit for them. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say they got a chip on their shoulder. I mean, last season, I'm right. I think they lost their first 4 or 5 games, and they definitely want to set the tone early on. Yeah. And from what Scott said in Media Days, it sounds like that's kind of the intent there. And NBA is just a great way to start out. And they're looking forward to the one game on the schedule.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to more than one. I can tell you that much because, like you said, Connor, their schedule is it's daunting coming out because after NBA on Friday night, they get CPA the following Thursday. They're at BGA week 3. They've got Oakland at home week 4. And then and only then is it ease up a little bit before Springfield comes calling on the 25th of September. So,
and that tough schedule paid off for them last year as well.
It sure did. Yeah, down the line, it will pay dividends for them for sure. They'll reap the rewards for that when we get to November or December. Yeah. Moving forward to Rockville and Independence, another split. Let's see, Connor and Scott are on Rockville, guys. So I'll let y'all have that one.
I like what Rockville has added in the preseason as far as some of their skill positions. I think they're going to try to control the ball. They've got a heavy hitter in the backfield, and former Stewart's Creek running back Jamarcus Brown. They've got Kingston McQueen and Dallas Johnson, both talented route runners with good run after catch. And I think that they make your special teams better. But I really do like this Indy team. I just think in this game. If Garlington has significant carries, like, and and keeps the Rockets on their heels, then yeah, they'll Independence will win this game. But I just think that Rockvale has got enough offensive, defensive line. I think they've got the better playmakers.
Yeah, Rockville was a very high scoring team last year. And from what I gathered last year, it seemed like they were fairly young as well. And I don't know if they're still growing, but I think week one is a good opportunity for them to set the tone as well with Independence team that also beat them last year.
I'm going to address this real quick. Tony, I hope you went to the website and actually read our preview. That's all I got to say. Just reading is fundamental. That's why I ask everybody to do it. All right, back to this Rock Hill Independence thing real quick. Indy, I warned y'all last year that Indy was going to beat somebody that they shouldn't, and lo and behold, did they knock off Clarksville in round one. I think that's just the basis of them taking the next step in Scott Blake 2.0. It's got Matthew Horner, who I think could definitely learn about what happened late in the season with him having to step aside for a backup in a playoff game. But Indy's an interesting team, and I think we're going to be talking about them a little bit more late in the year.
Yeah.
All right. I'm off my soapbox, Joe. Don't worry.
No, he's not.
BGA, St. Michael Catholic in Alabama on Saturday. I think it's a 12:30 local kickoff, if I'm not mistaken. We're on BGA.
Well, I mean, sorry. I'm not sorry, Philip Rivers.
I know.
Now
weird wearing this Chargers jersey right now.
Oh yeah, you should feel bad. I think BJ, they're going to stay true to themselves. The offensive line season, good mix of seniors. My question is, Bo Bryan just needs to go out and be himself. He doesn't need to be Caden Marable. He needs to play within. I don't think Coach Bentley's going to ask him to be. He just mentally needs to play within the offense because he's got the weapons on the outside and the inside. And looking at this St. Michael's team, their defensive backfield's young. I think that I think to win, they're going to have to score on every position and get ahead and stay there. Not seeing them, but it's easy for me to say that. But I just think that the BGA's got way too much firepower for.
Okay, so that is a 1:30 local kickoff, as Joe says. So, yeah,
they lost.
That's
a ton
big.
Of seniors.
They did. Yeah, that's going to be big for them.
Y'all got anything?
I mean, I got a lot of points in this one.
We all do. I mean,
yeah,
I'm sitting here at 50 feeling light.
Yeah, no. When it comes to PGA, I'm not afraid to be scarce with my points there, and they've always, especially early in the season, they love to put up those big points. And another interesting thing I think about this matchup is both of the quarterbacks and their fathers, both big celebrity figure fathers. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. You're right, Chris, that we may be underestimating the points here because, quite frankly, this is a TV game. So, everybody's going to want the spotlight. The main thing is that come out of it healthy and come out of it with a win.
I just don't think I'd want to be in South Alabama in the middle of August with all that kind of heat.
Oh my gosh.
That might be the one thing that might be the one thing that slows these guys down just a little bit, but probably not much.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to bring us to the other game on Saturday, Oakland at CPA. Well, last time Oakland went to CPA, it didn't end so well for them, but we all think Oakland will take this one.
Yeah. Well, Oakland is loaded. They got weapons at nearly every position. They had not one but two outstanding rushers. And then we didn't talk about Valon Henderson at the wide receiver, and they really have good line. CPA is a very, very talented team, and Engel Martin is a great, great coach. They just aren't the size of some of the other AAA or 6A schools, and I think that depth does get to you at some point. You can't just reload with. So I think late this game's going to get away. I think this is a really tight game until late when Oakland's speed gets them ahead.
And I really think this is going to be a game where you ask, can anyone stop Oakland? Can CPA do
Yeah.
that? I think that's the most clear-cut one. That can anyone stop Oakland?
Yeah.
And we're going to find out this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah, we're not going there again.
Oh, but I'll give you this one too. Yeah, because way back in the day.
Yeah, back
Reggie
in the day
knocked that
when
one out of the park.
Reggie. Yes, he did. Reggie became a hero.
Yeah.
But
legendary pick.
The youngsters aren't participating this year because, quite frankly, I can't get them to behave.
All right, let's go back to this real quick and we'll finish up. The point about getting enough defensive stops for CPA for me, that's going to be a challenge. But I also think too, Cam Morton, Dante Cameron for Oakland, it's their season. For them to kind of put their stamp on what this Oakland team can be, and Jacob Vaughn as well. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one Saturday night, though. CPA is always a fun atmosphere for a game, and looking forward to getting over there for that one. I'll also be at Procon. Mark and I will be at Procon Friday night.
Yeah, Connor and I will be at Hendersonville.
Yep.
I believe we're heading down to CPA in Oakland on Saturday as well.
Yeah, Connor will be there.
Yeah.
Connor will be there with us at CPA.
I'll be monitoring. I'll be monitoring from the station here.
Yeah. HQ.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Loaded show in week 1, obviously, with all the preview stuff. Let's have some final words, then we'll get out of here for tonight. I'm gonna let you lead off.
Final words. I mean, this is on the spot. This is also my first time doing any final words. I'm looking forward to the season. It's going to be a big one for me. I got a year under my belt now, so I'm really looking forward to covering each game and improving myself. I'm really looking forward to seeing all these games. I mean, just this weekend, like I can't stop thinking about getting down there over to Nashville and getting to cover some of these games. Being in a new role as well, it's been a lot of fun over the summer. So last thing I guess I'd say is go Bison. We're going to beat the Gators. We're going to beat Greenwood by 1,000.
Scott, I'm going to put you batting second tonight.
Okay. First I'll say I'll address we addressed it earlier, but we definitely do appreciate Joe and Cam and the contributions that they've made to the show. We do miss them, but I am thrilled to have Mark. Thrilled to have Connor on the show, and we've got some other people that are joining the crew. So we're just gonna do, we're gonna try to be Oakland. We're gonna try to reload and be number one every year. Quick news that I wanted to let everybody know that some kind of disappointing news out of Mount Juliet Christian. Their numbers are down. They suffered quite a bit of teammates leaving, and their numbers are down. And they were denied co-opting with Republic. Republic had reported 45 kids that wanted to play, which is, I mean, they should have their own program at that point. So they've had to forfeit their first game. Really hope that program finds a way to turn it around, finds the players that they need. But all reports are that their numbers are just not where it would be safe to play. And so we just hope that those kids uh, are able to play some this season.
Yeah. Oh, I get to go third. All right. Hey.
Yep.
No, I mean, just to be honest, I'm just super excited. I appreciate Chris, Brooksy bringing me on. This is something new for me. It's a different side of football that I don't normally see. So just really, excited to learn and get on the field and really see these games in person and see a lot more of football than I normally do in a season. But I will end it kind of with what my tagline was at the beginning before I changed it. It is great to be a Ravenwood Raptor. I'm excited for the season they will have and excited to be able to cut it up with you guys every week and talk football. So
we're gonna have to have
Yep.
a matchup between him and Tyson.
Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Yeah. Just plan on that for sure. Yeah. No, excellent show, guys. Fun to be back for another year, but a bit of an admission for me. I wasn't sure until last Monday that I would be back. With some career changes in my life, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this for another year, but it has worked out, and I am back for another season. So it's going to be fun. We're going to make the best of that. And, we've got some faces here, and some of the old guard are still hanging around. You'll still hear from them from time to time, just not in a role as far as content's concerned. Like Scott said earlier, it's become more of a family now. It's definitely more of an alumnus now that have come through with us, and we're certainly thankful for everybody who's been here, for Joe, for Cam, for Isaac, for all those that have come before them. And there are guys here that can get the job done, and we're certainly glad to have them. As my voice cracks worse than Sean McDonough, but the main thing is the people watching tonight, that we do this for you. And I mentioned this on Twitter earlier, and I want to point this out. We see a lot of graphics from teams that are just AI created. And as long as I'm doing this, know that we're not going to do that, because we respect you and we value you too much to do a load of AI slop for graphics. Everything that we do is done by a human. And yeah, we're going to make mistakes. It happens. But we do that because it's for you. It isn't for us. It's for the people who actually want to see the content and actually care about high school football in this area. And we're going to continue to do that. So as long as you see our content, know that it's authentic, know that it's coming from us. And if it looks like AI, let us know, because it's definitely not ours. But with that said, it's going to be a fun year, and we get it kicked off tomorrow night at Lebanon and at Baylor, and then a loaded weekend. So it ought to be fun. And guys, great show. Thank you all for hopping on tonight. And we'll do this every Wednesday at 7:00 with this 615 Preps Live presented by AccuWorks. But also need to point out that our scoreboard show will be Sunday morning at 9 for this week only, because we've got those Saturday games. So make a note of that and be sure to join us then. So we'll have highlights and scores and all the good stuff we usually do. And we're back for another year, and I hope you'll join us. So for all of us here at 615 Preps, for Mark, for Scott, for Connor, I'm Chris. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you around.
We'll see you out there.